Hey everyone, sorry about Mike cutting me off. Welcome back to part B. And as I was saying about that grapple, just make sure you try and trigger a pause menu or an item screen, and it won't do like the full damage to you and get you out of it really easy. And I was going to start touching on the green essence a bit more. As I said, each orb is worth 30 seconds, but there's a cap on it. You can only get 4 at a time, so you can only have, you know, up until 2, 3, 4, 5 multiplier, and times that by your 30 seconds, and that's your limit. So you want to kind of keep a running like time in your head how many you've picked up. Say, for example, if you pick up 3 at a time, then you've got 90 seconds worth of, you know, a multiplier. So, you know, if you can kind of know how long it takes to kill certain waves or something like that, any kind of comparison, so you know once you're approaching kind of 30 seconds, and then you should start focusing more on your combo, you know, to get to replenish your timer. Now, this wave can be really, sorry about that. I just completely forgot what I was going to say. This wave can be really problematic if you get like a rough start or anything like that. Like, I didn't think my UT was going to hit anything there, and then it's quite hard to recover if something like that happens. But generally speaking, the Windmill Shuriken UT is much better for this wave if the mages cooperate. Like, if you hear mages off screen chanting to do their magic, you know, never ever do a Windmill Shuriken UT, because their magic attacks pack a hell of a lot of punch, and you can get juggled by them as well. And even on the Acolyte wave, like, if you get juggled by their magic attacks and you haven't got a lot of health, it usually ends your run. Like, there's not much chance you're going to live through that. And another really good tip to give just then, or whenever you do an Azuna drop, always pay attention to your hit counter, and if you see it go up more than 1, then obviously you know that your Azuna drop impact has hit something. So for certain enemies, that's really useful to know, because you can just start, if you know that a certain enemy has taken like 3 or 4 impacts of the Azuna drop, you can just start spamming Flying Swallows to try and kill them fast and get some better essence, rather than killing them with a UT, and obviously not getting any chance of getting blue, red or green essence. Now here again, this is me just trying to get my multiplier back, because I've obviously lost it. And zombies on their own are pretty easy to farm for combos. I should have swapped to the regular shurikens to make this a bit easier, but if you swap weapons, it cancels your combo. So I just like spam the hell out of the Flying Swallow, and building up my combo that way. Always pay attention to the zombies' attack patterns, though. They may be slow and stupid, but their attacks, you know, pack a lot of punch. They do a lot of damage, especially their grapples. They're really quite powerful. And this is, again, probably the second hardest wave next to Genshin and the dogs, I would say. Your top priority is, again, the Fiend mechs. You definitely want to get rid of them first. And if you notice to delim any ninjas like I did there, make sure to OT them so you can stagger your essence. Always try and target your UTs, the werewolves or the Fiend mechs, because the werewolves have got that pounce, which is, you know, does terrible damage, and so have the mechs, and they've got a lot of annoying off-screen stuff as well. And whenever you kill a mech as well, I just happened there, but I couldn't comment on it fast enough. Whenever you kill a mech, always make sure you get far away from them, because that explosion does a hell of a lot of damage, and B, it can knock you into the air and you can start being juggled. And I've had it quite a few times on the Mentor wave, where that can kind of get you off guard, and then you get pounced by a werewolf, and it just kills you instantly, and it's just really frustrating. So now that I've just whittled it down to the ninjas, I'm trying to just get some health out of these for Genshin and the following wave. So I'm not really going to use many UTs. And obviously, if you see Nimpo Orb pop up, always use it. You know, make sure you're always holding block so you don't absorb it, but use the Nimpo Orb and use Nimpo, and then absorb the Nimpo Orb so you get kind of a free Nimpo. This wave is pretty insane. There again, if you see a Nimpo Orb, but in this wave it's better to use the Inferno, because you stagger their spawns while you can still guillotine throw the rest of them, and you might get, you know, another Nimpo Orb, or to do it again, or you might get some green essence like I did there. So yeah, but for this wave, just use the guillotine throw constantly. There's not really much else you can do, and don't dash jump unless you have got a good idea that you're not going to get hit by a load of rockets, because they can really whittle down your health quite fast. Now, it was really lucky that guy gave me a red, because there's only 1 left, so I'm going to Nimpo him, and while he, you know, burns to death over there, I'm just going to charge a UT. For Genshin, you really want to charge a Gleaming Blade UT, so you might get a mage, but always try and save Nimpo for Genshin, because the first Genshin has 4 sets of mages, which makes him, like, insanely hard. Like, even on he's the hardest on Acolyte than he is on any other one. Unfortunately, he didn't hit anything there, which was kind of annoying. And then my UT targeted Genshin was really shit, because UTs do no damage to him. But if you ever spot the mages bunch up like they did there, always swap over to your wind blades, because they have an annoying habit of like dodging out of the way of the Inferno and Impo. And again, I got really lucky there, and I got another red and a green. It's always nice to kill Genshin with the 5x multiplier, but don't, you know, ruin your health or anything to go for it. Now, to whittle down Genshin himself, I've tried to explain it on Iberians a few times, but it's quite hard to get into typing, so I think I'll be able to do it better. You really want to get a rhythm going of every other attack. After every other attack, he'll be vulnerable once you start it. So what I do whenever I fight Genshin is wait for him to do an attack, just do the Y combo with the Dragon Sword, and if your first hit connects, then you... sorry, if the first 2 hits connect, then you know you'll get your second 2, so do that. But then the trick is, after that, it's kind of every other time is when you want to try and go for damage on him. So if he attacks you and then you hit him, the next time he attacks you, you just want to dodge and don't try and attack him, because then he'll just, like, you know, teleport and take health off you. But then the next time he attacks you, you should be able to get it. It's obviously not, you know, really exact, nothing is in this game, but if you only ever do the first 2 hits of the combo, then you can stop it afterwards, so you shouldn't really get caught out too much. And obviously if you can try and pick up mages next to him with Azuna Drop, because the Azuna Drop splash damage does really good damage to Genshin. And there was a good time to put in the Gleaming Blade, because it moves towards enemies in NG2 unlike it did in NGB. And now there's just Genshin left. So that combo right there, always try and make sure you never get guard locked, and if you do get guard locked and stunned, try and just either use Nimpo or do a wind path and try and get the iframes, because otherwise that last hit will probably get you, and it does quite a bit of damage. And yeah, that's the first wave done, and going to move on to the second one now. Obviously get the elixir, because you can't not. So now it would have been nice if I could keep my combo going straight away, but these guys don't give me a green straight away. But it's exactly the same as before. The first 2 waves are pretty much of a muchness in terms of what you do. There's a couple of waves in them that are a bit different, like anything that involves Guardians or Mages, because they get a pretty big damage boost, even though it's only going up to Warrior difficulty. But for the first wave, just, you know, keep using the Dragon Swords combos combined with your regular Shurikens to keep your combo counter really high. And the Flying Swallows are also really good, because you can just kind of spam it to stun them, and it's got a really good chance of instant killing them. So now for this wave as well, always make sure you can get your UT started. It might be better to try Windmill Shuriken UT there if you've got good positioning, but you know, if your Windmill Shuriken UT doesn't hit anything, it's got no iframes on it, so you can get punished afterwards. So for these waves, I'm just going to try and keep up a bit better with actually commenting on the waves rather than strategies for this second wave. So one thing you always want to be focusing on, one thing I always do anyway, whenever I get someone in like an iframe move, like a guillotine throw or OT or Azuna Drop or anything like that, I'm always trying to control the camera to look at all the other enemies in the room, or in the arena, sorry, and to see what they're doing, because if you're doing Azuna Drop, you can kind of pan the camera around as you're coming down, and if you see like certain enemies like trying to set up for a grapple, you know to kind of either dash or wind path or go for an on-landing or something like that, so they don't nail you with it. It's always really important to know what the enemies are doing, like as you're coming to the end of a move, because obviously in NG2, you know, it can go from bad to worse extremely quickly. So again, this is one of the biggest points waves for this run. You really want to try and just get constant UTs for this IS Ninja and Dog wave, because they die really fast. Like the True Dragon Sword's really long, so you can weaken a lot of enemies and keep your combo going, and then just kind of set up and stagger Essence for another UT. Yeah, you can use Windmill Shuriken UTs for these, it does work, but I just prefer the iframes of regular UTs. So, and again, always try and stagger Essence for the next one. Now for the werewolves as well, they're a pretty tricky enemy, because these werewolves seem more aggressive than the red ones you get later. So always try and take them out first and get essence out of the ninjas rather than the werewolves with the dragon sword. And that about wraps up part B, and yeah, just carry on trying to build your combo up, as I said, with this wave, and I'll see you in part C.